Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Special Hobby, and it comes in a 1/72 scale. This is actually completely new tooled kit, and it will be interesting, I think, for everyone because it copies quite unusual Czech or Czechoslovak aircraft Aero Ab-11, but we have here also the number of the aircraft L-BUCD. Why? Because this aircraft actually made the special flight over 31 countries, and it will be interesting to copy it because it's quite significant aircraft in Czechoslovak air let's say industry. And now we have a completely new tooled plastic which will copy this particular aircraft. So first of all, I have to note that the box size is typical for Special Hobby. Here you can see comparison with my hand. Also we have the kit number, it's SH72471. And here on the sides, as usual, we have some safety devices, but that's something typical, I would say. And it's a top opening box. So as you can see here, we have inside the assembly manual and also one and only plastic sprue as far as you can see, but we will check it right now. But actually there are two gray plastic sprues as far as you can see. And that's something not that surprising because it's a 1/72 scale biplane, so it has its own, let's say, limits. And now just give me a second to place the plastic back aside because it was housing several sprues. And also we have a clear frame as well, so just give me a second to take out the clear frame first. So let's zoom in. Here we have the windscreens for both seats, and as you can see, they're molded in a nice quality. Of course, we do not have masks included, so in case you would like to cover them properly, you have to get the masks by your own. And as you can see, these will have to be really tiny stickers, but I think it's doable as long as you have experience with such tasks, so no worries. And the more important thing is that the molding quality is really good. Now we can move on to the gray plastic parts. I would like to start with fuselage. So here we have first plastic sprue with fuselage halves. As you can see, both are molded without tail fin. We also have the separate section here, which suggests that we will have different versions because we have one insert here and one insert here. So this might be handy for different types which will be coming out later. But today we are talking about this particular version, which is the 11 AB as far as I remember. And the main differences were, of course, on the wing surfaces, and I will tell it a bit later. I will show it actually, but here I'm flipping over this sprue and you can see we have some minor cockpit features. We also have guiding elements, so it will be really easy to align everything together, even though the plastic itself is a bit on the, well, it's actually smooth. It's quite interesting because the frame itself is not that smooth. I would say it's kind of rough surface, but here we have really smooth surface on the fuselage halves. And maybe just to give you an, we have a bit more zoom, so this will give you a better idea on what are the external features on these fuselage parts. They look really good. We have also two propellers, and that's something what you could have noticed on the box art, because during this flight they had the spare propeller attached under the fuselage, so that's why you will need two of them in order to properly copy the marking. Next we continue with the second gray plastic sprue. By the way, we do not have parts number in here, I just noticed it, so here is this. So here we have the wing parts and the main difference. So main difference is this special fuel tank which was used for the extended, let's say, version. So as you can see, it has this slight bulge. It will be placed in the middle section, and of course we have quite typical parts design for 1/72 scale biplane. So we have ailerons pre-molded and we have the top wing molded as a single piece part, while lower wings are molded separately, but there is still one piece parts for each side. And also we have a lot of small parts which will go inside and outside, so that's why I suggest we zoom in so that you can take a closer look. So for example, here we have the frontal cowling section. Again, we have another type of the frontal cowling panel here. So this definitely suggests that we will see more versions of this aircraft in later releases. Here, by the way, you can see the plain panel for the middle insert, so this one is not an extended fuel tank. Here we continue with engine exhausts, and as far as you can see instrument panels, we have also tail fin rigid rudder. We have also separate elevators. So here we have the elevators, here we have also tail wings, which is kinda cool because it might be handy for some diorama ideas. Here we continue also with the middle section bulge, which I was describing later, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about here so that you won't be surprised. Here it is. As you can see, we have it slightly raised in comparison with the previous plain panel. And here also you can see some of the minor elements for the cockpit. So if I flip it over, here inside you will find some guiding elements for the wing struts, which is also handy, and the same applies here on the lower wing. And also note that inside these middle sections we have some pin marks, so it will be really important to erase them or send them off, because otherwise you won't be able to properly fit them into the place. There might be some issues with the fitment, but this is not a serious problem. This is something what is expected from such things. Next, I'm opening another plastic bag. Here we have decals and PE threads, so just give me a second. I'll try to do it quickly. Okay, so what do we have here? First of all, I will show the tiny PE thread. Here it is. So as you can see, it's unpainted PE thread, but here we have some cockpit parts. We also have some external elements, so it's quite handy addition, especially in 1/72 scale. But be sure to have the right tools, because it might be a bit tricky to work with such tiny PE parts, and especially placing them into the right position. But as I said, this is not all, because we also get the decals. So just give me a second. I'll try to get them ASAP. So here they are. Let's close the lenses and zoom out a bit. So here is the decal sheet. So as I said, we are copying only one marking option, which is quite significant. And also we have some decals for the cockpit. As you can see, it's written that it's printed in Czech Republic, so I can guess it was made in Edward, but who knows, because it's not directly mentioned here. But printing quality is really good, and even if I bring it closer, you can see it with your own eyes that everything is easily recognizable, and I think it will be easy to apply as well. Next, we continue with assembly manual. So this one is printed in form of large color printed brochure, which is kind of standard for a special hobby. So I will zoom out a bit, and here you can take a closer look. So on the first page we have English and Czech history note. These ones might be handy in case you would like to learn more about this aircraft, but of course I would recommend to find some additional material, because the story behind this flight is quite interesting. So here we continue with the parts map. Of course, crosses mean that you won't have to use these parts. As you can see, a lot of crosses on the second large gray plastic sprue, so that's why pay attention on which parts you will be using, because it will be quite important for this particular type of the aircraft. Next, we continue with the assembly process. We actually start with it. So obviously we start with the cockpit. So as you can see, a lot of stuff should be combined together. Of course, some parts it's better to pre-paint them, because later you will have really difficult access to them, and it will be quite a hard time trying to get them into the right shade. So then we continue with installing the pilot seats and also a control stick. As far as you can see, here we continue with more parts on the left fuselage wall. By the way, you can see this pre-painted color shades suggested, so that you know how to paint these internal elements. Here we install the exhausts, and then we continue with the instrument panel. So here you will have to use two decals combined together, and then you install this top panel for the fuselage. The same continues with the cowling. So here we do not have engine inside, it will be empty of course. And also here I can see we have some alignment tips on how to properly align together these both wings and also the tail wings as well. Here you can see this famous, let's say, bulge being installed on the top wing. The same goes with the struts, which will be holding the top wing in place. Here, of course, it's a traditional story for biplanes. Do not hurry, try to align everything perfectly, because later you have to do the rigging. As you can see, there are also some wire braces to be copied. So a lot of things, but that's something what you cannot avoid in the biplane build. And here, by the way, you can see what I was talking about. So that's the spare propeller which was installed under the fuselage of this aircraft. And next, we continue with the one and only marking option. This is quite interesting. We have here a detailed history note about pilot. So it's William Stanovsky, as far as you can see. So you will be able to read more. As you can see, we have even some photos and more information in other languages as well. And also here we have some information about other pilot. So this is really cool, because as far as you can see, this is more of a special release which is made to commemorate this, I would say, quite impressive flight. And this kit should be already available. I'm not sure if it is a limited edition release, but I would recommend to hurry if you want to get one. And of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about such a release. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.